Okay, so get this. Today we're doing a deep dive on disappearing.
Disappearing.
Yeah, as a strategy,
Yeah.
like for totally reinventing yourself. Not literally vanishing, of course.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's about shedding that old to make way for something way better. The source material here is this really interesting conversation with Alex Carter.
Who's that?
He's this self-made millionaire,
Yeah.
like coaches people on designing their lives.
Uh.
And it all came from a podcast interview he did.
So we're going to break down what he said, see if we can apply it.
Exactly. See if
Yeah.
it holds up and whether it's something our listeners can actually use.
Bold premise, though.
Right.
Can you really transform yourself, like, overnight?
That's what Alex seems to think. And he's laid out a roadmap for making it happen.
Okay, I'm hooked. Lay it on me.
Step one is what he calls going ghost. What do you think of that?
Going ghost. So not like full-on disappearing, more like becoming invisible.
Yeah, invisible to the stuff that's holding you back. Think about it. All those unnecessary apps on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like,
constant notifications.
All the time you waste explaining yourself to people who don't even matter.
Ugh. The energy drainers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alex's point is, by cutting all that out, you make space for real progress, like focused progress.
Makes sense. It's like that idea of death by 1,000 cuts, except it's your potential dying.
Totally. It reminds me of Elon Musk, like you don't build rockets and change the world if you're always distracted.
Right. No way, Musk is all about focus. It's gotta be.
Exactly. So think about it. What are your biggest distractions? I bet you could list a few right now.
Oh, absolutely. For a lot of people, it's probably that news app they keep refreshing. Or maybe it's that friend who's always bringing the drama.
That's a good point. What could you achieve if you just had more focus?
Now that's a question worth pondering.
Right. But going ghost is just the start. Alex also talks about this thing he calls a social reset.
Okay. A social reset. Now we're talking. What's that all about?
This is where things get really interesting. You just take a hard look at your social circle, like really evaluate those relationships.
So are they actually lifting you up? Or are they dragging you down?
There's that saying, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, I've heard that one. So your circle should push you, make you want to grow.
It's like when Jeff Bezos started Amazon, remember? Just a small team in his garage.
Totally. They were all in on the vision. No naysayers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So who inspires you? Who drains you? This isn't about ditching your friends.
No, it's more about choosing who gets to be in that inner circle. The people who fuel your growth,
I like that. All right, so you've gone ghost. You've done the social reset. What's next on this roadmap to reinvention?
Well, Alex says it's two things. Reinvent your image and build your value.
Image. That sounds kind of superficial at first.
Oh, trust me, it's not what you think. Alex isn't talking about designer labels or anything.
So what is he talking about?
Presenting the best, most confident version of yourself. It's about fitness, dressing sharp, good posture.
Ah, I see. Projecting competence.
Exactly, before you even say a word.
It's like the Cristiano Ronaldo effect. That guy just walks into a room and commands respect.
Right. Total alpha energy. But the value piece, that's equally important. Alex is a huge advocate for what he calls high-income skills.
High-income skills, what are those exactly?
Skills that are in high demand right now. Skills that can actually make you money.
So like coding, copywriting, all that digital stuff.
Yeah, those are definitely on the list. But also things like digital marketing, web development, even online business management.
Interesting. And you don't need some fancy degree to learn these things, right?
No, tons of resources online. You can learn this stuff fast and affordably.
Makes sense. He actually tells this story about a friend who learned video editing in like 3 months.
No way, really?
And then landed $10,000 contracts from companies on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It just goes to show your skills are your currency these days.
Absolutely. It's never been easier to learn these skills on your own time, at your own pace. And often way cheaper than traditional education.
So it's all about taking that first step. What have you always been curious about? Maybe it's time to finally take that online course or go to that workshop you've been thinking about.
You know what? You're right.
Now, here's a question I was wondering about. Does this whole disappearing act apply to relationships too?
Yeah.
Like romantic relationships?
That's a good question. I was wondering the same thing. And Alex actually addresses that directly. He says the goal is to become the man a woman can't stop thinking about.
Okay. But how do you do that?
By focusing on your purpose, not by chasing after women. That's the key.
So it's not about sliding into DMs or trying to impress anyone.
Nope, it's about becoming the most compelling version of yourself.
I see. So like Michael B. Jordan.
Exactly. He's not winning hearts by chasing. He's winning by being successful and driven.
Success and ambition are attractive.
They are. It's like a magnet.
Okay, so this whole deep dive is about disappearing.
Yep.
But it sounds like the goal isn't to stay hidden forever.
You got it. It's about reappearing transformed, like inspiring awe and curiosity in others.
So people are like, whoa, what happened to this person?
Yeah, they'll be wondering how you became so confident, successful, magnetic. But in the end, the most important change isn't about how other people see you. It's about how you see yourself.
Right. It's the confidence you've built, the skills you've gained, the clarity about your purpose. That's the real transformation.
And that's something no one can ever take away from you.
Like, you've become the hero of your own story. This is fascinating stuff. We've covered a lot already. And I'm ready to unpack even more of Alex's advice.
Me too. Let's do it.
Back again. I'm still thinking about that whole going ghost thing and the social reset, like hitting the refresh button on your life.
Right. But strategically, though, it's not random.
Exactly. It's about taking control. You choose what influences you, who you're around, who you become.
And before we took a break, we were saying this disappearing act, it's deeper than just cutting people off.
Yeah, it was being intentional with your time, your energy, online and offline.
And that's where it gets tricky, right? How do you actually disappear these days when you're always getting notifications? Everyone's online living their best life, supposedly.
It's easy to fall into that comparison trap, especially on social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Alex talks about this. You got to curate your digital space, just like you would your physical space.
What do you mean by that?
Think about it. You wouldn't let your home just be overrun with junk, would you?
No way. Too much clutter. It'd be chaos.
Same goes for your digital world. Those apps you mindlessly scroll for hours, accounts that make you feel bad. Time to declutter.
So like a digital detox.
It's more than just a detox. It's being mindful. What are you letting into your digital life? What actually serves you? What inspires you? Make it work for you, not against you.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about our physical environments? Do those matter too?
Absolutely. Your surroundings affect your mindset. Your energy, big time. Imagine trying to work on something hard in a messy room. Impossible.
Okay, so spring cleaning, digitally, BAN, physically.
I like that. But it's not just cleaning. It's making a space that reflects who you're becoming. A space that inspires you, that fuels your creativity, helps you reach your goals.
So like your own personal sanctuary.
Exactly. And when you have that space, focusing on self-improvement, way easy.
Now back to the social reset. Saying you got to evaluate your relationships is one thing. But how do you actually decide which ones to keep, which ones to let go? That's got to be tough.
It is tough. No easy answer. But Alex suggests a simple question. Does this relationship energize me or drain me?
That's a good one. So simple. Easy to get caught up in obligations. Feel guilty about distancing yourself. But you have to prioritize your well-being.
Right. Pay attention. How do you feel after spending time with someone? Inspired, motivated, happy, or drained, negative? That'll tell you something.
We all have those friends. Like, no matter how much you care, they just leave you exhausted.
And that's when you know, time to step back a bit. Doesn't mean cutting them off completely.
You know? But being careful how much time you invest, how much energy you give.
Setting boundaries for yourself into them. Sometimes that means hard conversations.
But if it's a relationship you value, it's worth trying to find a healthier balance.
Couldn't agree more. So we've gone ghost, done the social reset, decluttered our spaces. What's next on Alex's list?
I think this is where the building your value part comes in.
Right.
Those high-income skills.
You got it.
Yeah.
Investing in yourself, learning stuff that's in demand, stuff that can lead to financial freedom, becoming indispensable.
Okay, so remind me again. What are some of those skills people should be looking at?
We talked about a few: coding, copywriting, digital marketing, web dev, but there are tons. The best ones depend on you. What are you into? What are you good at? Find something you're passionate about, something you could see yourself doing for years.
And the best part is, a lot of this can be learned online, at your own pace, often for way less than traditional education.
So empowering. It really levels the playing field. No matter who you are, where you come from, you can learn this stuff. Build a better future.
What about people who say, I don't have the time, or I can't afford it?
I'd say you can't afford not to invest in yourself. Things are changing so fast. The people who are constantly learning, they're the ones who'll thrive. These skills, they're your most valuable asset going forward.
The only constant is change. If you're not growing, you're falling behind.
Exactly. And when you learn these high-income skills, You're not just boosting your earning potential, you're becoming more adaptable, more resilient. You're future-proofing yourself.
That's a powerful way to think about it. And it ties back to the disappearing thing, because you're taking yourself off the board for a while, leveling up, becoming more valuable.
Investing in your future self, one of the best investments you can make.
So we've got ghost social reset, building value. What else is part of this whole disappearing act?
We haven't really talked about image yet. Remember, Alex said two things: building value and reinventing your image.
Oh, right. And I'm guessing this isn't just about superficial makeovers.
Nope. Not about trying to fit some mold. It's about presenting yourself in a way that reflects your confidence, your competence.
So like aligning your inner and outer self.
Exactly. Dressing well, taking care of your health, having good posture. It's about projecting self-assurance. That draws people in.
It's not vanity. It's recognizing that how we present ourselves, it impacts how we feel and how others see us.
For sure. As you go through this disappearing act, working on yourself, developing skills, you got to pay attention to how you present yourself too.
It's a holistic transformation then. Mindset, skill set, physical presentation, all connected.
Totally. Becoming the best version of yourself. Inside and out. Putting your best foot forward. But authentically, intentionally.
Now, earlier we touched on the relationship side of this. Alex talked about becoming the man a woman can't stop thinking about. Can you expand on that?
Sure, he's saying real attraction. It comes from inner confidence, from purpose, not from chasing after someone.
So no games, no manipulation, just genuine self-improvement.
Become the best you, and let that attract the right people, naturally.
What you seek is seeking you. Live a fulfilling life and you radiate that energy.
Love it. That's what makes this approach so powerful. No quick fixes, no surface level changes. It's deep, lasting transformation that resonates on every level.
Now I'm curious about the reappearance. We said it's not about a grand entrance. But what does it look like? How do you act when you see people who knew the old you?
You show up as your authentic self with confidence and clarity. No need for big announcements or trying to impress. Your actions will do the talking.
It's like leveling up in a video game. People will sense that shift.
And you'll feel it too. New sense of purpose, confidence, self-assurance, like unlocking your full potential.
What if you run into someone from your past, someone who knew you before all this?
That can be tricky, but stay true to yourself. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Just be confident in who you are and now.
Their reaction is more about them than you.
Exactly. Some might be happy for you, others might be jealous. It's not your problem. You can't control that. But you can control how you respond.
Stay grounded. Let your actions speak.
Now here's another challenge. Once you reappear, it's tempting to slip back into old ways. You get excited about your new life, and you forget the habits that got you there.
It's like climbing a mountain, reaching the top, but then you got to figure out how to stay there.
Perfect analogy. Self-discipline is crucial. Keep those good habits going, even when things are good.
Make them so automatic, you don't even have to think about it.
And be aware of your triggers, what situations, what people make you want to fall back. Once you know what they are, you can come up with ways to handle them.
Like building a safety net.
Exactly. And remember, setbacks happen. Don't beat yourself up. Just learn from it. Get back on track.
So much good stuff here. As we wrap up this part, what advice would you give to our listeners, the ones who are ready to start their own disappearing act?
First, believe in yourself. You can create the life you want. Might sound corny, but it's the truth.
Belief leads to action.
And that's the second thing. Take action. Don't wait for the perfect time. Start small, but start now.
Even one tiny step.
Momentum builds on itself. And as you start doing things, embrace the challenges. They're going to come, but they're how you grow.
Challenges are like guideposts. They show you the way.
Love that. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Books, podcasts, courses, mentors, tons of resources. You don't have to do this alone.
Finding your tribe, connecting with people on the same path, that can be so motivating.
It really can. And lastly, remember, this is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the ride. Celebrate your wins. And don't be afraid to adjust course if you need to.
This has been so insightful.
Huh.
I feel like we just scratched the surface of this disappearing act idea.
I know, right? There's always more to explore.
Well, we'll get some listener questions in the next part, but for now, let's take a moment to absorb all this. We're back. Final part of our deep dive, this whole disappearing act for self-transformation. It's pretty powerful stuff.
It is. The idea of taking that time to work on yourself, coming back as this upgraded version.
But like we said, it's not always easy. Challenges, potential pitfalls, things that can trip you up.
For sure, transformation takes work. There'll be times you just want to quit.
So let's talk about those pitfalls. What gets in people's way when they try this?
I think one of the biggest fear of what they don't know, fear of failing, fear of what people will say. It's normal though, right? When you're stepping outside your comfort zone.
You're shaking things up,
Yeah.
changing the familiar.
Exactly, and that's scary. But here's the thing. Fear usually means you're on the right path. You're pushing yourself. That's where growth happens.
Everything you want is on the other side of fear.
Love that. So when fear pops up, acknowledge it, but don't let it stop you. Use it as fuel.
Another one is self-doubt. That voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, especially when things get tough.
That's when you need your people, your support system. The ones who believe in you, encourage you, push you to be better.
Someone to give you a different perspective when you're stuck in your own head.
And remember those small wins. It's easy to get discouraged if you're only focused on the end goal. Celebrate those little victories. Keep the momentum going.
Little milestones along the way to keep you on track.
And don't be afraid to ask for help. Seriously. Books, podcasts, online courses, mentors, there's so much out there. You don't have to do this alone.
Find your tribe. Connect with people on the same journey. That could be huge.
It really can. Okay, let's talk about reappearing. We said it's not about some big announcement, but what about when you see people from your past? People who knew the old you. How do you deal with that?
It's like stepping back in time. You've changed, but they might still see you as you were.
And that can be weird. But just be yourself. Be the new you, confidently. You don't have to explain anything.
It's their problem if they can't handle it.
Right, their reaction. It's more about them than you. Some people will be stoked for you. Others might be jealous. Just let it roll off your back. Focus on you.
Stay true to yourself. Let your actions speak louder than words.
Here's another thing. Once you're back in the world, it's tempting to slip back into old habits. You get excited about your new life and forget the things that got you there.
You climb the mountain, reach the top, but then you gotta figure out how to stay there.
Self-discipline, that's the key. Keep those good habits going. Even when things are good, make them automatic.
Part of who you are.
Right. And those triggers, the things that make you want to fall back, figure out what they are. Then you can figure out how to handle them.
Safety net.
Exactly. And hey, setbacks are going to happen. It's normal. Don't beat yourself up. Learn from it. Get back up. So as we wrap up, what are the main things for our listeners to remember? The ones who are ready to try this disappearing act.
Yeah.
What would you tell them? Believe in yourself. I know it sounds cheesy, but it's the foundation. You have the power to change your life.
It all starts with that belief.
And then take action. Don't wait. Start small if you have to, but start today.
Any step in the right direction.
Momentum builds on itself. And when those challenges come up, embrace them. That's how you learn and grow.
Challenges are like signposts, pointing the way.
I like that. Don't be afraid to ask for help either. There's so much support out there. Don't go it alone.
It's about finding your people, the ones who get it.
And remember, this whole thing, it's a journey, not a destination. Enjoy it. Celebrate your wins. And if you got to adjust course, do it. No shame in that.
This has been amazing. Really eye-opening. Learning about this whole disappearing for self-transformation thing.
Me too. Makes you realize we can all change. Sometimes the biggest changes come when we step away and just focus on ourselves.
So much wisdom from Alex Carter. A roadmap for anyone feeling stuck. A call to action.
It's a choice to invest in yourself, to start this journey.
So for everyone listening, if you're feeling inspired, take that first step. Embrace the challenge. Trust the process. It's worth it.
And you're not alone. We're all in this together. Let's create a world where everyone feels empowered to be their best selves.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep diving deep. Keep reaching for your potential.